Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is April 18th, 2026, and Javier Tebas has given us an update about Barcelona's 1-1 rule. Also, Barcelona eyeing not one, but two new options for that center forward position, including Sorloth and Muriqi. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Bo, and I do apologize for not doing a podcast yesterday. I know I promised you a podcast as always on Fridays, but after work, I had to go to a meeting. I had to go to a dinner with a friend who was leaving town. Anyways, by the time I got home, it was already like 1 a.m. I couldn't do anything, so I just went to sleep. But don't worry, because today I'm posting not one, not two, but three videos to bring you up to date on all Barcelona news, from all the news that came out yesterday and, of course, today. So let's dive right into the news because, ladies and gentlemen, La Liga's president, Javier Tebas, has given us an update in regards to Barcelona's 1-1 rule. Now, as you know by now, the club are expecting to achieve the 1-1 rule this summer for the first time, I think in 5 or 6 years. And this is what Tebas said about Barcelona's progress. There's still a long way to go until summer. When you arrive, you have to generate revenue to be able to make signings. I don't know what Barca's plans are. Laporta isn't president until July 1st. I think Barca has a very good financial structure. They've reached a level a team like FC Barcelona needs to be at. They're on the right track. Let's see if they'll make it by June 30th. They're in a much better position than when Laporta took over. So, why June 30th? Because if you don't know by now, that June 30th is the end of the fiscal years. That's when the clubs, all La Liga clubs, close their fiscal years, send their paperwork to La Liga, showing them how much they spent over the year, how much the money they brought in, and based on that, clubs' budgets, clubs' financial fair play is established based on the paperwork. So Tebas saying, we still got a long way, but Barcelona are on the right track. We're not there yet, but we're on the right track. So we'll see what happens once the financial year closes on June 30th, but the club are expecting to achieve the 1-1 rule for the first time in a very, very long time, which of course will facilitate these signings because, as you know, under the 1-1 rule, for every euro that you bring in, you can use that full euro to sign another player. So if you sell a player for 100 million, you can use the full 100 million to sign someone else. Before, we were under the 1-4 rule. So if you sold someone for 100 million, you would only be able to use 25 million to sign someone else. That, of course, made things very difficult for Barcelona. So if we do achieve the 1-1, that's going to be a huge, huge help. This doesn't mean all of a sudden we have infinite money and we can go sign whomever we want. It just means we can use all of our money to sign players, but you still need the money, okay? I know a lot of people get excited. 1-1 rule, oh, let's go sign Haaland, Mbappe, Julian. No, that's not what that means, okay? Anyways, on to the next bit of news, because now that Barcelona have been eliminated out of the Champions League, well, Deco and the sporting department, alongside with Flick, have identified key positions that need to be reinforced this summer transfer market if Barcelona want to be competitive on the European stage, because as we've seen, we're plenty competitive on the national level. Last season, we won all three national trophies, La Liga, Copa del Rey, Spanish Super Cup. This season, we're on our way to winning La Liga, and we already won the Spanish Super Cup. So it's clearly we need to be focused on how to be competitive on the European stage. And well, Deco, Flick, and the sporting department have identified the three positions that need to be reinforced. Center forward, of course, because as you've seen time and time again, we need someone up front who can score the million chances that Barcelona generate, not to mention to most likely replace Robert Lewandowski, who looks like will be leaving this summer transfer market despite Barcelona trying to renew his contract or extend his contract, I should say. Number two, a world-class center back that can help Barcelona maintain that high line without getting exposed too much, because we're still going to be exposed, of course. And finally, a left winger, someone who can compete with Coutinho and someone who can, of course, give Barcelona depth. That way, if Coutinho, God forbid, gets injured, needs rest, is suspended, someone can step up and do the job, not like someone you might know that we currently have that doesn't do the job when he steps up. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Now, of course, for the center forward position. As you know by now, Barcelona's number one priority is Julian Alvarez. However, we do have an update because Atletico Madrid have confirmed to Barcelona once again that Julian Alvarez is not for sale. They are not interested in even sitting down and hearing what Barcelona have to say, even though Barcelona had budgeted 100 million to try to spend on the Argentine attacker. Now, Atletico Madrid spent 75 million euros plus 20 million euros in variables on Julian Alvarez. They are not in need for money since they do have now a huge investment partner who's forking a lot of cash. And right now they're in the semifinal of the Champions League. They're in the final of the Copa Rey. They have absolutely no need to sell or buy players, let alone their star player who they have spent a lot of money on. So Atletico Madrid telling Barcelona, sorry, bro, but you can't have Julian Alvarez. And more development because, as you know, Barcelona were considering maybe using Ferran Torres since Atletico Madrid sporting director Mateo Alemany is a huge fan. There's also Casado, who is listening to offers, and Atletico Madrid had tried to sign him in the winter transfer market. Atletico Madrid have said, sorry, no Julian, not interested in Ferran in exchange for Julian in cash. We're not interested in Casado in exchange for Julian in cash. No Julian, period. So Atletico Madrid closing the door completely on the Argentine, which honestly, I never thought this deal was possible to begin with. Now, Barcelona have identified two other options to add to the list of center forwards that they could possibly sign. And one of those options is another Atletico Madrid player, no other than Alexander Sorloth, the 30-year-old Norwegian center forward who currently has a contract with Atletico Madrid till 2028. Someone who hasn't been getting much minutes under El Cholo Simeone, but whenever he does, he makes the most out of it. In fact, he has scored 17 goals so far this season, despite being a substitute. And this is someone that Barcelona consider is a different profile than what the club currently has, because Sorloth is a profile of a center forward that's strong in the air, has a powerful left-footed shot, and someone that's quick for his size because he is a pretty big player. So Barcelona have identified him as a possible option for this summer transfer market. Now, Sorloth has a market value of 20 million euros with a 35 million euro release clause. So my question to you is, would you want to see Sorloth on Barcelona? After all, he was key in the elimination of Barcelona in the Champions League. Not to mention that he has scored 7 goals and provided 3 assists against Barcelona as an Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, and Real Sociedad player. By the way, quick story. I went to see Barcelona versus Villarreal at Villarreal Stadium 2 seasons ago, I think it was. And I ran into Sorloth on the street. Super cool guy. He was just like walking around, taking pictures with people. The most humble guy ever. But of course, my question to you is, do you think Sorloth is the solution? I have my doubts. I think Sorloth is the kind of player which how he's being used right now. Someone that can come up the last 30 minutes, give you that goal that you need to win or to draw. Someone like a Luke de Jong. Remember Luke de Jong back in the day? I don't know if he's necessarily someone who could be the starter for Barcelona. Not to mention, he is 30 years old, so in 2-3 seasons, well, we're going to be back at square one looking for another center forward. But on the other hand, the options are very, very little in the transfer market. Now, the second option that Barcelona are now considering, this is more of a low-cost option. Option B, if nothing else works out, Barcelona are considering Vedat Muriqi, the 31-year-old center forward currently at Mallorca, who's having a wonderful season. In fact, he's the second highest scorer in La Liga with 21 goals in second place after Kylian Mbappe, now at 194 meters. Vedat Muriqi is someone who's also strong in the air, kind of like Sorloth, but he's also capable of holding defenders and has very sharp instinct inside the box. And again, Barcelona consider him as a low-cost option. Now, Muriqi has a contract until 2029 with a 40 million euro release clause, but of course, Barcelona believes that they can sign him for much less. Not to mention, if Mallorca do end up getting relegated, not looking like it, he could cost even less. Now, my question to you is, Vedat Muriqi, is that someone you would consider at Barcelona? Honestly, I don't. I think Vedat Muriqi is exactly where he needs to be, mid to bottom table team. I don't see him as someone who can, show up in the big nights of Barcelona against clubs like PSG, Man City, Arsenal. Real Madrid, even though he did score a goal against Real Madrid, but, different circumstances. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about all the news that I shared with you today. Again, I'm posting 2 more videos after this one, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, be scarsa.